Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning. And most importantly, I hope you had a great day yesterday, good or bad. Hopefully, if you had a bad day, you managed your risk properly. And if you had a great day, even better. So let's get into it, guys. Today, as usual, we'll go over our top plays and highlights for yesterday. We had a pretty decent list here. And then we'll go over our gappers right over here. And then our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. Just want to do a quick mic check. Want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. All right, excellent. So I see on YouTube you guys can hear me perfect. I need to refresh the chat room over here. All right, guys, for those on YouTube, hopefully you enjoyed yesterday's AMA. Ask Me Anything with William and Eamon. Again, just every time I watch these, you learn so much from them. So it's always great to again keep in touch to see how other traders are trading. So Eamon and William did an amazing job yesterday with that AMA, and even experienced traders, you can get reminded of certain things you might forget. All right, guys, I'm back in the chat room. Hopefully you can hear me now, and I just want to do a quick check. All right, perfect. So again, we're just talking about yesterday's AMA. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And if you didn't get a chance to watch it live, you can always watch the recording. Is up on YouTube. So for the chat room, since I just got you guys, good morning. Hope you're having a great morning, and I hope you had a great day yesterday. And let's get into it. So as usual, let's go over our top plays and highlights from yesterday. Here's what's my watch list. Look at NVS. Actually, NVS, it was one of those stocks that again, the pre-market action didn't look so great. But man, did we get surprised with some beautiful trading in after the open. So let's just go in here, right? It's just a beautiful drop right off the start. Let me get the 1 minute also as well to come in here so you can see how the 1 minute traded. It didn't have huge volume like an AMD or like an MU, but the price action itself was just clean. It's just very clean. Unfortunately, I didn't jump in short on this, but you can see here, candles opens up here. So I'm in a little more. Does a nice little pop, tries to get towards 95, I guess. Right at 95, a lot of selling pressure, goes right back down, right below the VWAP, right? So that's a good signal right there. For the 5 minute open range breakdown, you get the small pullback that you like to see, right? You get the hesitation here. It doesn't quite get to VWAP, and then just a beautiful drop all the way down to these levels. Continues dropping. You get a nice indecision candle here, but if you have a great entry, you get such a cushion in this drop here, right? You can easily hold through all these pullbacks, take a partial. Obviously, you got an indecision candle here. You want to protect some of that profit. That right there, right, getting in here, your stop loss is either above this candle or even here, depending how much room you give your strategy where you're trading. But you can clearly see, I mean, this gives you so much cushion. You take some off here in the loss of momentum, and then you can easily ride this down towards this 93.67 level we had. I believe that could have been the low of the pre-market. Comes back up, tests the VWAP again, and right back down to the same level. Take some more off here, or even take everything out once you see it starts making higher highs, higher lows. If you have such a big move already, no need to hold for this pullback, right? That's not necessary. So again, just great trading there. Here we got FTSV. FTSV was, I was expecting more out of this, but really didn't get going. The volume just died down. You had one huge candle at the open, and then from there, it's just got really choppy and not clean at all. So not really in play yesterday. We were watching it. Andrew also had it on his list, so we were looking for a possible play here that never came. Next, we have AMRN. So AMRN was very active, very clean. Look at these nice patterns here, right? You got a few bull flags, A, B, C, D here. You got a nice A, B, C, and D. I mean, it does not get cleaner than that, guys. And what's best about this is that on the way up, it goes over all these support areas, right? All these moving averages. William talks about this a lot in his trade reviews. If you've seen them, we had one yesterday as well at 3 p.m. And you can see after it comes back up, there's no more, moving average resistance up here, right? Yeah, you got some levels, so maybe off the daily, of the pre-market highs and so forth, but it just takes off nicely, right? Everyone knows that in here, here's the entry. Or even here, if you want to get in a little early, say your stop loss below this low here, and just takes off nice. It's a beautiful trade here, and then becomes a great short. We did not have shares for sure, but you can see it becomes a beautiful short. Loses VWAP nicely here and just heads all the way down towards the low of the day for the rest of the morning. Next, we had AMD. AMD, as we keep talking, guys, right? That first 30 minutes, just pretty choppy. This is not unusual for AMD. You can scalp it in here because the volume is there, right? The volume is always going to be there on AMD at the open. But just look, after 30 minutes, Beautiful breakdown of the VWAP here. Finally gets into a trend. There's some traders that actually take this strategy, the 30-minute open range breakdown, right, or break up. You could take that all the way up to an hour. Clearly here after an hour, this is 10:30 here. After an hour, a beautiful breakdown right on here, and just loses all the moving averages, the levels, and just heads right down towards this 32.40. So that's a beautiful trade after being really choppy at the open. Let's look at eBay. eBay was amazing, guys. This thing was good up and down. So open range breakup, heads back down here, huge buying pressure. We mentioned that in the chat room. Don't go short just yet because the volume was so aggressive. It was all over the place. This drop looked great. So I'm sure a lot of people went in before the 5 minutes and got caught on this possible squeeze here. And you can see squeezes up, small pullback, and then here's the nice entry for open range breakup. You get in here, set your stop loss below these levels, these moving averages, and it just takes off nicely, hitting the high of day. That's probably your 1-to-1 if you want to partial out there, depending on your trading plan, and then quickly hits 42. And then from there becomes a nice short. Now, you don't want to get short in here, right? Because this could be a pullback. This right here, this red candle, that's not a signal to get short, right? You want to wait on this. Once you start seeing that it keeps breaking down, after it loses the moving averages, right, you have to wait for this one. This is a good entry for a loss of VWAP, loss of momentum. Again, it was trying to hold this level here at 41. Here, it just couldn't take it no more. Beautiful drop all the way down to the low of the day, to this moving average. You can see the loss momentum of this moving average, and then just keeps riding down the 9 EMA perfectly. So great trade on eBay, both long and short. MU was also very strong. MU just took off right from the beginning on open range breakdown. Just a beautiful one. The issue with this one, the pullback was not as big. And again, it's very difficult to take this trade. But if you got in for open range breakup here, I mean, you just got a beautiful cushion, and hopefully you took a lot of profits on the way up. Because then it really sells right back down, giving a lot of it back before it settles in. It just becomes pretty choppy within this area here. Look at these wicks, look at these candles. They're really not clean, forming no pattern here at this point. So just some other ones that we were looking at. Let's look at Roku. Roku was also very clean, ABCD pattern right on here off the VWAP, so that was nice. Also Nvidia traded extremely well, also very weak. Nice drop here, good open range break up on the 5. Let's just look at Facebook real quick. Same situation here, but Facebook was a little tough because it got so extended, right? When something gets so extended like this, you don't want to take it here for an open range breakup, and the reason for that is too extended, and you don't want to get caught in a pullback back to VWAP or back to this moving average. That's just, the risk to reward is not there. You also have a moving average here that you don't want to go in. You don't want to go into against a moving average or any kind of resistance or support if you're going short. So that would have been a tough trade. Here we have Apple again, just too extended. There was no trade after this. It's just that's a huge move here, and then it just becomes really choppy after that. So you can't really take. It's very difficult to take open range breakup when you have that type of open. So be careful with that one. CODX is the one we have for the low flow team. We did not have shares for sure, but just didn't do much. Just kind of sold off for the entire morning, at least half of the morning. So not much going on there. All right, guys. So usually Norm now will be doing the news, but Norm is not feeling too well, as you guys know. So he's gonna rest his voice today. We need to give him a weekend so he can get back to the grind on Monday. Peter is joining us. Peter, how you doing today?
I am great, Carlos. Morning. How are you?
Thank you for joining us last minute. I just told Peter like 30 minutes ago if he wants to join, he's more than welcome. So I'm not sure if you caught up on news. If caught up on news, if you're not, I can get into the gappers and give you a little more time, or you're ready to go.
No, I'm all caught up. I usually do that earlier, so it's good to go. So Let's start internationally. Hopefully, I'm seeing global futures are up a bit, so we're looking like a little bit of an update in the global markets, and I'm seeing that reflected in the SPY. We're slightly above yesterday's close. No significant news. As far as I know, there's no big news announcements today, so during the market hours, we should just be moved by specific news on stocks, or, of course, if something breaks during the day, we should see that. If anybody in the room knows of something that we should expect, let me know. But otherwise, I'm expecting it to be a typical sort of quiet Friday with a few earnings. And we'll get to those in a minute, I'm sure.
All right. Excellent. So just quickly pulling up the SPY. It's pretty flat right now as well, so not much going on there. All right, guys, so let's get into it. On the gappers list, not much right now, and some of the stocks on here don't trade very well. So MU is on here. MU's got some volume this morning. Looking forward to seeing what's going on there. Let's get some columns in here, and then let's start over with crowd, CRWD. So CRWD, oops, too much. CRWD up 19.1, so that's nice. 350,000 shares traded so far. This is a recent IPO, so again, not a lot of levels up here. Obviously, this is all-time high from just 2 months ago, so not really much to go by. But what's the news on this one? What's causing the pop? This is a big pop for an IPO that just opened up. Any new news came out on these guys?
Yeah, this is an earnings play. So they've had their first earnings report since going public, and they beat their estimates, which has got the street obviously excited.
Oh yeah, that looks very, very good. Love it, love it. So we'll take a look on that. One thing I see here, I do not have shares for sure with CMEG. I'm not sure if you do with IB. And if you do with IB, how many do you have? Do you have plenty, or is it one of those stocks that's going to be hard to short today?
Let's see here. Well, right now I've got 250,000, 250,000 shares for short.
All right, cool. That should be enough for your trading. Maybe not, but we'll see at the open. So let's look at next we have Microsoft here. Microsoft is very tough to trade, guys. It tends to be very choppy. It is up 2.7 this morning, 747,000 shares traded. I'm assuming this is earnings as well.
Absolutely. Microsoft had their earnings. They announced after the close yesterday, and if you actually look at a 5-minute chart sort of post-close, it was bouncing all over the place. It was up, it was down. Anyway, so considering how little Microsoft normally moves on a day, it was quite a lot of gyration. Now it's sitting at all-time highs, and this could get people interested because I think that pushes them obviously to a record valuation. They're over $1 trillion in valuation. I saw a report that said that it might have pushed them past, I think back past Apple as the most valuable company on the planet right now. So
really, wow, interesting. So here, pre-market action right now looking okay for this type of stock. It doesn't trade really well, but today's definitely in play with a nice pop here with some good, decent volume. A lot of the volume sitting on this candle here, probably people taking profit. So we'll see how this pre-market activity develops throughout the morning. Daily chart looks good. Again, it's been grinding high. Had a nice low here on June, just kind of taking off here nicely, finding some good resistance at 138, and then just diving down towards the moving average, catching the moving average nicely. And then today we have some good news, and it's popping pretty well. So here we have AMRN, was in play yesterday. It is down 2.5. Too many levels in here. We'll remove these. Down 2.5, 1.1 million shares traded. So again, it's trading a lot of volume today. Yesterday it traded very clean. We just went over how it traded yesterday. Just want to give you guys a little peek if you're just joining us. Some good patterns here, ABCD patterns trading nicely, and then a nice drop, losing VWAP. You can see the drop here of VWAP right in this area. Then the retest, right? So important to get that retest. You got a retest here, cannot make a new or high towards these levels, and then once it comes down towards the level that's been holding, you get the beautiful drop there. So hopefully today we can get that type of movement out of AMRN. It is on short selling restriction already. Pre-market activity not looking too great at the moment. Wow, a lot of the volume really sitting on these two candles. I mean, it has 1.1 million shares traded, so that's quite a bit. So hopefully it can continue to give us a nice steady volume here throughout the candles. AMRN, anything happening with this one today different than yesterday, Peter?
Well, yesterday they announced a secondary offering just this morning, but we couldn't find a price. So this morning they just put a price to it. They priced it at $18 a share. So that's why we're seeing the reaction this morning. Okay,
excellent. So now we have, let's look at the next one. We have at MU. Yes, MU's got some volume in here. So let's check out MU. MU, it is up 2%, 331,000 shares traded. And again, the daily just looks amazing. I mean, look at this nice little uptrend has been on for the last couple of days. Just going to remove this level in here. You do have a nice a range that it was stuck in for a couple of days here. Came back down to the moving average. It's kind of been following this moving average since probably end of June, right? Just kind of comes back, retests it, finds supports, and heads higher. So today's going to be interesting, guys. It is trading very nice for MU. A lot of volume, 333,000 shares traded. And here you can see pre-market actions looking so for this type of stock. So MU is definitely in play. This is not the all-time high, but is it the 52-week high, or are we pretty close to it? No, it does not look like, because this is July here, so it was a lot higher before. All right, any new news on MU besides just technicals, or is there anything else going on?
Yeah, I got nothing. I didn't find any news whatsoever. So, yeah, I think it's just continuing its climb.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, so that's what we have in our gap risk list. Next, we have NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainer. So let's take a look at this, see what's happening here. Up first, we have MTP. Looks like MTP, we traded. Wait, how do I have these levels on here? Like I just did. Oh, so it must have been from this day here. I was looking at these levels. Wait, did I look at this morning? And I didn't. But look how these levels are playing today again. They're hitting it right on it. It's just unbelievable. High of the pre-market here at 313, and then we have some levels in here that are obviously being active this morning. 254 from the last time we looked at this. You can see how it bounces right from here. All right, so this one here, so far volume 2.4 up 108,000%, 108%. Let's look at the actual activity. So last time it had such volume, which was in this area here, had 34 million shares traded. Opened up, did pop up nicely to 4, opened up probably around 313 looks like, and then it sold off. I'm not sure if it was after the open or in throughout the day. So when it is in play, it does have some crazy spikes. Looking at the flow here, it is a very low flow. MTP is only 3 million shares flow, so you want to be very careful with this one, guys. Looks very active right now, has some great volume. So we'll look at this and put it down here for the low flow team. AMRN, we have SLS, we already know it's a penny stock, so we're not even going to look at that. IFRX right now has some volume. Pre-market actually is not looking as great as MTP for a low float, right? This looks very clean here, has a nice pop, has some nice flow to it. You can see the time and sales just taking off nicely. It's very, very active. But our IFRX, let's see what the flow is on this one. IFRX is it's a little higher flow, 12.4, still on the low flow side. The daily looks okay, but again, just pretty much selling down right now. So it was up quite a bit at 370, but right now the pre-market activity not as active as I would like to see it for someone that trades low flow to trade, right? So this looks pretty dead for me at the moment. Let's look at CRWD. Next we have MU. We have as well JAGX. JAGX is selling down here, 347,000 shares traded. Daily chart looks a little funky. It looks like we looked at it before when we had this pop up here. It did move up with some volume, and then it sold right back down before the day was out. From there, it's been just kind of selling off nicely towards the bottom. What is the float on this one? JAGX is 1 million shares float. That's just scary, guys. It really is. I'll throw it down here. Now, it doesn't look too active at the moment, but this is something, again, if you just want to be very, very careful. Down 31% today. We'll take a look at it later. AMD not as active this morning, only 304. Not many days you can see MU beating AMD on the volume. Today's one of those days because MU is really in play today. What do we have here? We're looking at AMD. So AMD at the moment just stuck within this range, right? We can see here you got the previous day close down here, which has been acting as a great support over the last couple of days. Boom, boom, and boom. So nice. And then the 34 been acting as resistance, and we cracked it 2 days ago. We cracked over 34 and then right back down. So daily is interesting. It has been trading well throughout the days though, so it's worth looking at AMD. We'll throw it on here just to see what we can get out of it. NASDAQ ETF, so we'll bypass that one. Let's go to NASDAQ gainers. MTP, we have CRWD, we have YGYI, not great, not much volume. RRGB, horrible volume. SIGA, no volume at all. ALT, nothing happening there. SNES, also no volume. JFIN, same situation. Staff, STAF, nothing happening. And last but not least, MLNT, also horrible. So that's what I have so far. Let's look at, I know Norm is not online, but let's look at, well, at least not on the mic. Let's look at Norm's top 4, see what we have going on there. And then, Peter, we're getting to see what you have on your end this morning. So Roku at the moment, again, Roku's just been extremely active. Look at these days. You're getting some really big moves, right? When it consolidates, we talk about this a lot because we've seen it just so often, right? Consolidation, then pops, right? Here again happened, pops over 2 days, consolidates in a huge pop. So it's just been extremely active. Same thing here, pops, consolidates in a huge pop. So it's been one of those stocks that's been very fun to trade. It's been giving us a lot of opportunity, a lot of buying specials. The buying special is at the open, it sells down. He waits for it to find some kind of level of support like he did yesterday at the moving average, and then boom, it takes off towards VWAP and he takes it for a long with a very tight stop below the level of support that it found after several candles of holding that support. That's what I call the Brian special on Roku. He traced that a lot. He did it yesterday and turned out really, really well. Next, we have NVIDIA. Let's see what NVIDIA has here. So NVIDIA is looking pretty interesting. Norm is mentioning now he likes NVIDIA on the 200 day breakout. So here's your 200 moving average. Again, it's just been kind of consolidating here. These moving averages are coming closer and closer. These ones are moving up. You can get a real nice pop here today. So right now, not much volume, but definitely one worth watching with the daily, based on the daily chart and technicals. Facebook here, Facebook just not doing much right now. Pretty much consolidating around here, around this area. So not anything exciting. And let's look at Apple. What is Apple up to? Also looks good on the daily, guys. You got a nice consolidation here. You had an area of previous day close that has been resistance over the last couple of days. Looks to be breaking out of that this morning. So this is definitely worth taking a look at if it hits our scanners. You have some areas that we can hit up here as well for possible areas of resistance, right? So that's what we have in Norm's top 4. Out of all of these, Roku looks great, and again, just because of the daily, and then NVIDIA looks really, really good as well. All right, Peter, what do you have this morning? What is on your list that we have not yet covered?
Nothing with big volume, but two that are in the news that I have my eyes on are AXP. So this is American Express. They had earnings and beat their earnings estimate. So they don't normally trade pre-market, no volume on it. But I mean, if you look at the daily, it's just a nice solid climb daily. So there might be some movement on it. We'll see after the open. And then the second one is Boeing. I like to watch it. I hate to trade it, but I thought I'd mention it. This is like the Teflon stock. I just don't understand. It just keeps going up no matter what the bad news is. So they announced that they're putting away $4.9 billion to deal with the issues around the 737 MAX, but at the same time announced expecting the planes to be back in service in their Q4. So it doesn't seem to matter what they do. Like the stock seems to react positively and go up even when you think it shouldn't. So, anyways, I may watch it, but I doubt. It's a high price stock too, and I find it really hard to trade. But those are the only other twos I got. All
right, excellent. All right, yeah, high price stocks, they're just a little bit challenging with the price action to trade. That's why I don't watch them neither. And then different like Norm. Norm can watch a high price stock, and he's good at it. He prefers that, right? So that's all comes down to preference, really. So Norm just mentioned SKX. Wow, this one is doing a nice move here. Yeah, look at this, up 12.8. Doesn't have quite a lot of volume right now, but this pop is real nice. And we have traded this one before in the past. Daily looks clean. Look at this nice flow it has here. So we talk about good daily charts, right? This is one where it has a really nice flow to it. You can see it's respecting some of these support levels, these moving averages. You don't get this type of flow here on stocks that are like foreign, right? This is why foreign stocks are difficult to trade, because here you can clearly see some of these levels, right? And just since we're talking about this, right, we have a little bit of time. Look at this here, right? This 29.47, a clear level of support and resistance. Look at this one up here as well, 32, 31, basically 32, a clear area of resistance, right? You got resistance all over the place. So everybody's looking at this. Look how it comes right down, tests this resistance, comes back up, and then takes off, breaks the resistance here. So again, just you don't get this from like give me one MT. Here we go. You don't get this from this here. This is why the daily chart is so important, because these levels on the daily, like Andrew says, they're magic, right? You need to have these to be able to trade well and see where, if you're going into some kind of resistance, if you should be getting in or out, or where you can expect a loss of momentum. So very important. So SKX looking very good today in regards to daily. So I'm going to throw this on here. That looks great. Peter, what's the news on this one this morning? It's up quite a bit, 12.5.
Yeah, so it's another earnings play. So they announced their Q2 earnings, and they beat both, I think, on the top and bottom lines. Skechers is one of those. There's a few stocks that, frankly, 95% of the time that they're not worth watching. But then earnings come out, and for like 10 days a year, like 2 days around each of the earnings, it can trade fantastic. I think it was maybe 6 months ago. Skechers had a huge run, if you remember, and it was actually a fantastically trading stock. But it lasted all the 2 days, and then went back to doing nothing. So we'll see. We may get a good day today.
Excellent. So definitely like this one, guys. What else you guys have? So we had CLF. CLF on here. Got some volume, 532,000 shares traded. Pre-market action looks okay. Now something about this is not looking too clean though. I can't pinpoint it. Maybe it doesn't move much. That's what it is. Yeah, it doesn't move a lot. What's the ATR on this one? Yeah, that's what it is. ATR is only 35 cents. So it's got to be in some really serious play to be able to get a move out of this. So if you look at some of these candles, that's what I was looking at.
You need to know about Apple products is at Apple's website.
Okay, thank you. That's nice. I didn't ask you. All right, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so again, just doesn't move a lot, guys. So to get a move out of this one doesn't look great. That's what I'm seeing here. And on the daily, you can also see that. Again, some of the days it barely moves 25 cents, right? So here's a 1050 to 1025. So it kind of looks like a Bank of America where you don't get a lot of movement. All right, so next, what else we have, guys? FCX. All right, this one looks 314,000 shares traded. Are these two related? This one, daily chart looks doesn't look as clean. You have a lot of choppiness here, and look at the bodies in the candles, right? Look at the bodies of the candles on here. A lot of it not looking great. So it seems very choppy to me. I do like the pop here, so I see what you're looking at, Igor. It got a nice little pop here, kind of leaving this area up 2.7. It's got some volume, but I don't like the daily chart on this one, and the pre-market action I also do not like. And also, if you look at this 315,000 shares, where are they, right? They're not trading within this pre-market activity, not giving us a good movement. So that's what I do not like about this one here. A sign to trade.
I've never FCX has never traded nicely. Like I've watched it a couple times during the day, and I've never found it to be a good mover. But yeah, I don't like it personally.
Yeah. Here, let's look at BX, guys. So BX, no activity right now, guys. Volume is very low, but I'm going to look at daily to see if there's anything specific that you guys like here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too exciting besides normal activity, unless there's some news that you're aware about. So BX doesn't look like it's in play this morning. ETFC, same situation, guys. Don't see a lot of volume on here, and don't see anything that technically that makes this look like it's going to be in play. And also, daily chart's not clean. I don't like this daily chart. Very choppy. If you look at these candles, I mean, just let's look at some of the ones that like AMD. You can see the nice movement in here, moving well. MU over the last couple of days has been tremendous to trade. AMRN not so clean on the daily chart, but these drops are interesting, and you know it's got the volume. Microsoft is one that doesn't move much, and then CORD, recent IPO popping up nicely. So yeah, so let's see SKX also. This is probably one of the best daily charts we have in our watch list today. I mean, this is just a beautiful, and it has movement. What's the ATR on this one, by the way? SKX. Yeah, ATR 78 cents. That's good for a price for a stock trading around $40, right? Previously around 35. Obviously a lot higher today because some of the moves. This is 14-day average. Some of the moves today are a lot bigger than that. So got some good stuff going on there. Starting to get the volume now, so it should be popping up here. There it is in our Gapper scanners. So it's looking nice. All right, what else we have? So AMAT, AMAT. Let's take a look at what's going on here. AMAT. Oh, this daily looks nice. Doesn't have the volume, but I do like the daily. It's kind of been a nice little uptrend here, so I do like that. And then you had a big day yesterday. So today you could have a continuation out of yesterday. So this could be a good possible, guys. I'm going to throw it down here for a nice possible play off the daily, but right now the volume is not there. So I see what you're looking at here. This daily looks interesting. Previous day close, what is that? Is that all-time high? No, it's not, but you can see that previous day close line. If you draw right on there, you can see it was an area of support on several days here, and then became resistance probably here. So again, if it can break out of that, you can get a nice little run here today. So this is not in play on its own right now, but the technicals are looking good as far as breaking past these levels for a possible continuation. All right, what else we have, guys? So let's look at Kurt, which one moves like a low flow? AMAT, UWT, SKX. Yes, you do have to be careful with SKX. I agree. I recall trading that. If it's in play, it can trade well, but you really want to, again, it comes back down to managing your risk properly, right? Don't go crazy on that. UWTX, again, this is not a regular stock, so I don't really trade this. Brian knows a lot about these ATFs. He'd be the best person to ask when he comes on later on, so we can look at that when Brian comes on. All right, let's see. ATRA, we'll do a few more and then we'll go over to announcements. ATRA doesn't have the volume right now, and the daily chart, I don't like this daily chart when it does this. I mean, it's just not giving you anything, right? It's pretty flat. Look at this, no action here. So again, just don't really like the way this one is moving right now, and the volume is really low. But the daily chart, I don't even like. I do like that the last couple of days you have this drop here and you have this bounce, right? So maybe we're finding some kind of bounce here, but overall the daily doesn't look too clean. All right, let's do a few more. Bud. All right, so Budweiser here. Oh, I got a nice pop. Earnings on Budweiser, Peter, today. They're up 5.2. Doesn't have great volume. Now, just to add, this is a foreign stock, so you can see it on here, right? Just not great, not a great daily chart. This is why you get those gaps. And from my experience, we had this before in our gappers list. It doesn't trade very well. What do we have on this one today?
Yeah, I don't. It's not earnings, at least not as far as I'm aware. It looks like they've sold a business unit for $11 billion, but I assume that that's the news that's driving it.
Yeah, I believe Budweiser is foreign, right? I don't think is a U.S. company, is it?
Yeah, they are because they got bought out by this. Anyways, yes, they're Belgium based.
Yeah, they're I know they got the American flag all over their beer, but they're they're not. It's kind of like GE, right? You think GE is US? No, they're not. My company bought them when I used to work for Haier. It's a Chinese company now. They're owned by Haier. So again, you'd be surprised how much stuff is not made here that you think it's American, but it's not. But here we are. So again, it's just not much going on here. A nice pop here, but again, this one does not trade well at all. You can see here, it's just in the daily. Has a nice pop, but not sure about this one. All right, so I think someone's gonna stop drinking Budweisers, right? Is that what's going on in the chat room? All right, guys. So let's get into some announcements, and let's then we'll find some levels and pick which ones look the best to watch today. Peter, what do we have on announcements for this Friday?
Yeah, so let's start with last night. We had our Ask Me Anything event hosted by William and Eamon. It was great, and live simulcast from California and Russia. It was fantastic. It was a good question and answer. So that was great. And then coming up, looking forward, we've got our next Lifetime webinar for our Lifetime members on July the 25th. So that'll be next week at 8 o'clock market time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So put your questions in advance for that in the post. We've got a link up above in the alert section. Let's see, looking up, we've got a couple of BBT meetups coming. So on the 27th in Pasadena, anyways, I'll say it properly. I'm not going to say it, Andrew. Anyway, Pasadena. So that'll be that's on the 27th, as I mentioned. So again, whether it's in Facebook or in our forums, you can sign up, find out the details there. And then August the 2nd in Phoenix. So Phoenix, Arizona, we've got a meetup there as well. So I think Andrew's planning to go to that one. That's the one where we'll be awarding the prize to our winners of the setup challenge. So that'll be fantastic. Let's see, what else we got? Obviously, as we've been mentioning for the last couple of weeks, Dr. Brett Steenbarger will be with us on the 26th of July. So it's a busy week next week. So that'll be on Friday the 26th. We ask you again to submit your questions, again, up in our alerts. There's a link where you can put those questions. And that's it. I think that's it for announcements.
All right, excellent. I'm just going to go over a few more that have popped up into the chat. So MCD, it's been grinding nicely here. It's a really high price stock, $216 here on McDonald's. But again, right now, no volume, guys. But I do see what you're looking at. It is making new highs here. Not sure if this is the all-time high, but this thing has been on a, wow, look at the uptrend on this thing. Holy cow. That would have been nice for a swing trade. You can see it's just riding this moving average nicely. Again, it's just been on a tear, but not much activity going on today. Next, we have. Go ahead.
My wife told me my wife told me to buy McDonald's back in 2010, and I said, "Oh no, look, fast food. It's not the current fad. It was like $60 or something at the time." I wish I'd listened.
Oh,
listen to your wife, guys.
Yes, listen to your wife. Absolutely. Next we have BA. So BA right now is just been so choppy. Look at this daily chart. It's popping up a bit now, 2.2. Not much volume, but it will be coming up here shortly on our gappers list once it gets over 100K. But for me personally, this is a stock that I just can't get a grasp on. I can't trade it well. It's also a higher price stock, so just stay away from it. But I see you're looking at the daily here. Looks nice. You had a nice pop on Wednesday. Nice drop yesterday and right back up. So that's a good sign for it to hopefully break out of this level that it has here. That has been resistance, support in the past, resistance here, and also broke through the support area here. So that could be interesting. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Let's go over on CRWD. So CRWD is a recent IPO. I don't have shares for sure on this one. 448,000 shares traded so far. High of the pre-market 84.30. I'm sorry, low of the pre-market 84.30. High of the pre-market 88.44. Below that, the only level you really have you can add is 79.71. In this type of situations, you want to look out for the whole dollar numbers, right? 82, 83. Look out for those because it can lose momentum on those whole dollar numbers. Looking closer into the pre-market action is actually looks okay for IPO. Not bad at all. It's got a nice little range going on here, stuck between these two levels. ATR seems pretty high on this stock though, so if you are going to trade this today, be very careful. ATR is at $4 for a stock that's 86 bucks. That is a lot, guys, so be very careful. This is a low flow, 4 million shares flow. Is that correct, or is that just because it's an IPO, Peter? You're the expert on this IPO situations.
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, okay. So again, I don't know if that's correct, but if it is, guys, be extremely careful. The ATR is extremely high on this one. I'm not going to watch it myself. I just don't like trading recent IPOs. I prefer to trade something with a little more history that I can go off moving averages and levels. Here's Microsoft. We'll put some levels on Microsoft. It is interesting. Usually this thing doesn't trade very well, but today is up nicely, 3% with some good volume. High of the pre-market 141.40. Low of the pre-market sitting at 139.64, very close to this high here. Towards the bottom, we have this level at 138, which is the high from 2 days ago, and then we have the previous day close and previous day highs from yesterday in this area. I don't think we'll drop down this far after gapping up nicely, but we can find a level in between here. It looks like this might be the only one. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many clean levels on here, so I'm going to mark down this one, 138.85 based on this day here and this day here, and also you got several days opening and closing around that area. So 138.50 towards the bottom in case we lose this low of the pre-market. Right now, looking at the pre-market activity for Microsoft, this actually looks very good, has some good volume, and it has a nice little trend going here, kind of stuck within a range here, buyers and sellers battling it out. Let's see who wins in a few minutes. AMRN is again, pre-market action is just pretty crappy right now. Had a couple of nice red days yesterday. Had some good moves, although this candle looks crazy here. If you look at the intraday, it traded very nice. So it's worth taking a look at. I do not have shares for short, but even with that, it gave us a nice little pop yesterday. You could have taken it long. Low of the pre-market sitting at 18.05. If it loses at 18.05, you can see that 18.05 is a very nice level of support. You got resistance there, then you got support in this area, resistance, support, and look, this is a beautiful support too. You got an extreme support here, comes right to it and then takes off, so that's very nice. You got the support right on here, resistance from the bottom, and then also you got support and resistance as well. So that $18 mark is going to be interesting if we can get back down there. It looks like we're trying to head up now. If we lose that, we got some more levels we can mark down here as well. We got this 17.11 also as support and resistance for a couple of days. Towards the top, you got plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last trading day. I'm sorry, the low from the last trading day, also previous day close, and a moving average coming in around 19. So let's see, bouncing back nicely from that 18 now. We'll see how it develops throughout the morning. Again, the volume is great. Hopefully we can get a better pre-market activity as we get closer to 9:30. MU is on fire, guys. Look at the daily charts. Has been on a nice little tear, had a beautiful pullback here, and now it's made it up yesterday, and now we're gapping up 1.6 with some good volume for AMD. 435,000 shares for AMD is a lot. If you watch this stock close, doesn't trade very much. So high of the pre-market, we're sitting at 45.66. Let's see what else. What's the next level we have that's clean above this 45 65, which is the high of the pre-market. Now if we go back over to September of last year, we have one level here at 46.73 and another possible that's very close, but I'm going to mark it anyways, 47.19. So you got those two areas. If we can break out, it's 45.66. Obviously 46, guys, you want to be on the lookout for that. Once it goes above this level, in the recent times we haven't had any level up here, right? Look at this, you got to go back all the way to September. So in that case, if it goes above that, just pay attention to the price action closely. Look at the loss of momentum, look at the whole dollars for possible areas of a reversal or a loss of momentum. AMD at the moment just kind of stuck within this range. It's worth watching today because again, it's just been trading well throughout the days. I don't think you need to add any more levels, guys. Since we're stuck within this range, you have the highs and lows here, you got a previous day close, you have the moving averages. Just don't need to add anymore. If anything, in case it starts to sell off, this here can be a nice level, 31.79, and you have again a moving average slightly above that, which is the low from 2 days ago. We don't really need to add any more to AMD. So and then we have SKX. This one looks like it's starting to take off here. Now it's coming up over with some good volume, starting to pick up. Low of the pre-market sitting at 38.60, high sitting at 40.24. Again, ATR, guys, on this one is extremely high, so be very, very careful with this stock. We are sitting at all-time high, or no, or at least 52-week high, looks like. Yeah, we're definitely sitting at 52-week high. But if we go back towards February 2018, you had a nice gap. Look at this gap here. Had a nice little gap here. So the price action is sitting right where this level is now, towards the top for one more level. 41.41 could be an area, and then you also have this one, 42.99 or 43 basically. So you got some levels up there towards the top. Look at this 38.56, which is our low of the pre-market. Look how that was support back in 2018 March and April. So good supports there being confirmed going back into time. So again, this one looks good right now, guys. Hopefully it can start picking up. Pre-market activity starting to get better from here and here. Hopefully it continues. This is nasty, and this area does not look well at all, but I do like the daily chart, and this thing is up 15%, and we do have shares for sure. So hopefully we can get a nice move out of this. The key in this stock today is going to be managing your risk, right? Don't go in here taking a huge size and thinking about how much you can make and not how much you can lose. Very important. So out of these, out of Norm's top 4, I think Nvidia probably be the one to take a look at today. The rest are pretty much flat for the moment. So Nvidia looks interesting. AMAT, I'm going to leave this here as a possible because just the daily looks clean on it. But again, right now, no volume. So it really needs to hit our scanners for us to have any type of play on this. MTP, again, it's very active. Just kind of chopping around right now. 3 million shares traded so far for the low float team. So this is worth watching if you're trading low floats. Level down here, we have 254. We have another one at 293, and we have another one at 313. And these levels were placed before when it had the previous pop. Right, when we had a previous pop here, we in this area here, that's when we placed those levels. So again, they seem to be active now as well. So again, be extremely careful with that one. JAGX is just selling down, guys. I don't like it when they pop up and sell down like this. They're not really in play. When we go back and look at it, very rarely they pop up, and also just doesn't seem to have any juice. So I'm just going to remove this one for the low flow team. But MTP looks like it's one that has definitely got some eyes on it this Friday. All right, folks, that is what we have. Yeah, I agree, Norm. That is just pure garbage. Stay away from that. That is what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's good enough for this Friday. Brian will be coming on in a few minutes, and also Andrew. They'll go over their watch list, and then we can see what else we can add to this. Guys, take care. Have a great Friday, 9:15 Eastern time. We'll get started. Get ready for the open at 9:30. Take care. Have a great weekend. And just remember, as usual, trade safe today. Trade clean. Be disciplined. Right? If you had a bad day yesterday, today's not the day to try to go aggressive and make that up. Be disciplined. Stay focused. Go into your weekend knowing that you traded well and you follow your rules. That's all that is being asked of you as a day trader. Be disciplined. Manage your risk and trade well. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.